Last Economic Development Committee meeting of this year. Pleased to be joined by my colleagues, Marquise Harris Dawson, Paul Mitchell Farrell, and we may be having one or two others before we end up today. But we're going to first start off with taking some general public comment cards. It looks like we've got just one. Mr. Herman, you've got a minute.
Good afternoon. I'd just like to advise you that what Paul Torres is doing in the community of Westwood is horrible, taking away elderly people and people of the Holocaust out of their homes for how many decades? That's horrible. Should be a goddamn shame to yourselves putting elderly people in harm's way. In note to that, at the LAPD Police Commission this morning, as I sat in with Zuma Dog Z-O double G, as he brought out how police, through a security agency, are enforcing. Sir, you need to get out of your car and leave. You can't park here. Please stop enforcing the homeless or any particular person from sleeping or sitting in their car overnight. It's incomprehensible. It's not unconstitutional to sit and sleep in your car overnight in the city of Los Angeles. Stop the enforcement and stop your racial profiling against people in the city of Los Angeles.
Okay, Mr. Herman, keep your seat, sir. You've got a minute on general. Yeah, we'll close the public comment and take multiple agenda item comment. I think, Mr. Herman, you're back for a minute. We've been joined by
what number?
Paul Krikorian.
How many minutes?
One.
On what item?
Two.
Multiple agenda. What else did you have to? What did you sign up for?
Well, I signed up for 3, 4,
Okay.
6,
Okay.
7, 8, and 9. I only get 1 fucking minute? That's fucking ridiculous in Los Angeles.
Okay, we'll give you
How
2
many
fucking minutes.
3 minutes? 2 fucking minutes. Put the clock back on 2 minutes, fool. Where's my 2 minutes,
Hey, man,
nigga?
come on. Just get started. I'll make sure you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Now I can speak like a human being.
Now, regarding the CRLA's involvement on item 9, I oppose. CRLA is dead. It doesn't exist. Now going into item number 1 and 2 with Jose Huizar, the poverty pimp of Plum, I am opposed because there are no amenities for those who are disabled and elderly to accommodate the facility and be participants in a mobility access program. Fools. Now going into item number 3, the Workforce Development Department, Workforce Development Board, administrative reports to the Los Angeles Community College training service. Some of you should be trained on the Brown Act violations you commit for 1 minute of public comment. Shame on you. That's a shout out to Mr. Spindler. And now going into item number 4, Pacific Palisades Business Improvement District. No one out there in Pacific Palisades asked for an improvement area. That should be in an area like Mr. Dawson and Mr. Price, where people live in poverty, where people drive to work and catch a commute on a train. They don't want that. They want the amenities put in their neighborhood so they can celebrate. You should watch 60 Minutes and learn when you put public libraries and you improve a community that's poor. See the turnaround, fools. It's extremely welcome. So pump some money into it, Mr. Dollar Budget Man Krikorian. And my last item is the Brentwood Village. Going back to that pathetic Paul Krikorian, or is it? No. Both of you fools. Correct. Safeguard peoples who live in apartments. You got Brentwood Village. Why can't we have the vintage apartments saved for those elderly folks in Westwood?
Thank you. That concludes public comment. We're going to take members, unless there's an objection, we're going to continue item 9, and we'll move items 4, 6, 7, and 8 on consent. If there's an objection?
No objection.
That will be the order. Mr. Clerk, what's the first item before us?
Item number 1 is a communication from the Los Angeles Grand Avenue Authority and Chief Legislative Analyst report relative to various agreements in connection with the Grand Avenue Hotel project.
Okay.
Good afternoon, John Wickham with the Office of the Chief Legislative Analyst. Before you is a report from the CLA transmitting various documents associated with the Grand Avenue project. This is a development of a hotel, residential, retail uses on the corner of Grand Avenue and 1st Street up there across from the Disney Hall. Back in June, Council approved the terms of a memorandum of understanding to provide incentive support for this hotel development. We have gone back and negotiated with the developer the terms of a final agreement, hotel development agreement, incentive agreement, and that's available for you. And recommendation is for your action to approve. The hotel will receive an incentive support of $55.1 million. This is a result both of the city's support and from new support provided by the Joint Powers Authority in the county. And so this will go toward filling the gap that's existing in the project. In addition, we retained the incentive rent agreement payment that was initially in the project going back to 2007. The JPA determined that that was no longer an appropriate part of the terms on the JPA side, but the city had been promised that we would receive incentive rent, and so we ensured that the incentive rent would remain within the project, so that payment will come back directly to the city. And that is the summary of the documents in front of you. In addition, the Grand Avenue Authority has transmitted their 5th development disposition agreement for council's action. This is simply consideration and approval of the actions that they've taken to amend the agreement, the project, in order to move the development forward. Mm-hmm. And there are other associated documents.
Is this a project that includes more commercial? Didn't they?
They actually removed all of the commercial from this project, so it is only the hotel, the residential, and the retail.
Okay, very good. Okay, members, any comments?
Surprisingly, no.
Okay, I will move that we approve this. Okay. John Holland, how could we take an action without some comment?
Just wouldn't be the same.
Wouldn't be the same.
You know, I'm a younger brother. I'm used to it.
Sorry, followed by Rachel Torres, Steve Eimer, and Ernesto Barando.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm John Howland with the Central City Association. CCA has been an active and fervent supporter of the Grand Avenue project since its inception. The hotel, retail, and residential project is the last piece in the Grand Avenue puzzle and will help close the gap in needed hotel rooms throughout downtown. It will also create additional housing in downtown. Additionally, the project will bring in millions of dollars in new revenue for the city, generate 3,600 temporary and nearly 2,000 permanent jobs, implement a community benefit package. And again, it will create much needed housing, especially affordable housing, including ultra low income units. We request that the committee approve the HDIA and other CLA recommendations in the report so the project can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Rachel Torres. I'm a senior research analyst with Unite here at Local 11. We want to thank Councilmember Huizar, this committee, Supervisor Solis, related, and community stakeholders for moving this forward, and your due diligence in ensuring the best project with strong community benefits, a project labor agreement for the construction, good jobs for hotel workers, local hiring, job training, and on-site affordable housing. This is the process of years of planning and engagement, and we're very excited to see this move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Steve Eimer. I'm with the Related Companies. On behalf of Related and our new investor partner, CCG Overseas Real Estate, I'd like to thank you for your consideration today for the hotel incentive agreement, the other related project documents. that are needed to initiate the next phase of our project. This next phase is the centerpiece of our collective efforts to revitalize this area of downtown, which, as you know, is the civic and cultural heart of the region. Special thanks goes to Councilman Huizar and his staff for their dedication and guidance through a long and sometimes challenging process. I'd also like to thank the Office of the CLA for their effort and support for the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, this is the parcel, the parking lot?
Yes.
Big parking lot parcel that exists now?
Parking structure directly across Grand from Disney Hall.
Right. Okay. Yes, sir. Right.
Good afternoon. My name is Ernesto Medrano. I represent the Los Angeles and Orange County Building and Construction Trades Council, representing over 140,000 hardworking men and women. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Grand Avenue project. As you probably already heard, our sister from United Here Local 11 mentioned the importance of the jobs. We're still kind of getting out of the recession here. These are the only high-wage, high-skilled jobs that there are in our area. We don't make cars anymore. We don't make airplanes anymore. We are the high-wage, high-skill industry here. And so we want to call for you to continue to support this project, to provide the incentives that exist here. I want to recognize Councilman Huizar for all his hard work, bringing all of the affected parties together. This is the way we need to do business in Los Angeles, with good high-paying jobs, good skilled jobs, good community benefits, good affordable housing, so we could build a great city that this is meant to be. Thank you.
Thank you. And this project will add how many hotel rooms to the inventory?
This project will have 305 keys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every key counts.
Yeah.
Still trying to improve that.
Yeah, we have, in general, the city of Los Angeles has been very deficient in adding new hotel rooms to this stock citywide. And then, as you know, we need about 8,000 rooms down around the convention center. So again, as you say, every room counts.
Good. Okay, members, any other comments? Thoughts? Okay, without objection, we're going to approve the CLA report and look forward to this project moving forward. Item 2, Mr. Clerk.
Item number 2 is a CLA report relative to proposed second amendment to the subvention agreement for the Wilshire Grand Hotel.
Hey, another project in the pipeline.
Yes. Again, John Wickham with CLA. Back in 2011, when council approved the Wilshire Grand project, and I'm sorry if I get my language mixed up, Wilshire Grand, Grand Avenue, I keep jumbling the two from time to time. So back then, the project originally was proposed to have two towers, a hotel tower with 350 rooms and a commercial tower with 1.2 million square feet. At that time, our consultants and your city staff did not believe that a commercial tower was going to be built, that it simply did not make any sense for the economy of downtown Los Angeles. The amount of office space that was available in the market just didn't make any sense. So we structured the deal in a way where we recognized that there was a financial gap in the hotel. We identified the amount of that gap, which was, I forget what it was. It was a gap of $97 million. And the council approved an incentive of $54 million. The developer
The gap was how much?
was $54 million at that time.
That was the gap?
That was the incentive.
How much
The
is the
gap
gap?
was $97 million. So the city was filling a little bit more than, less than half, about half. And so, but the contract, the agreement with the developer said that if you happen to build any commercial space, depending on when you build it, we will recognize that there is additional net new revenue that your project would generate, and we would provide additional incentive for you to fill that gap. Because again, it's a $97 million gap, only $54 million incentive was provided. So we received this year a letter from the developer who is nearing completion of their project. They have, they are adding just over 400,000 square feet of commercial and retail space in the project. And so in compliance with the contractual agreement we have with them, that would result in an additional incentive payment to them.
How much?
An additional $6.8 million. One additional point to note is that the project originally had 650 keys, rooms in the hotel. They have increased that to 889 keys. So they have substantially increased the number of hotel rooms in the project, but they are not receiving any more incentive based on the revenues from the hotel side of the project. So we've held the line on that part of this incentive agreement. And so the recommendation in front of you is to amend the contract in compliance with the existing contract to recognize the additional incentive that would be provided to them.
Okay. We've got one speaker, Mitch Minzer.
I'm here only if you have questions.
Okay. Members, are there any questions this time? Paul?
So, John, this is taking me back, and I'm trying to remember where we were at the time. My recollection was that the subvention for this project was at exactly 50% of net new revenues. Is that right? And that was almost, if not entirely, almost entirely derived from TOT. Am I wrong about that?
The net new revenues of the project include the property tax, sales tax, business tax, the whole parking tax, the net new revenue analysis includes all of the revenues that would be generated as a result of the new project, and less existing taxes. So the Wilshire Grand project was unique in that there was an existing hotel and commercial building. We identified the existing revenues generated by that project, subtracted them, so that we could identify the net new revenues resulting from the project. And they were eligible to receive 50% of the net new revenues.
Okay. And so at that time, the expectation, the plan was that it would be 650, the hotel would be 650 rooms.
Yes.
And the then existing Wilshire Grand was how many rooms?
890.
Okay.
Yeah.
So net loss of rooms, but greater room rate charge, I assume. So that was how that netted.
Yeah, higher quality hotel.
Yeah. So I don't recall this option with regard to an office tower, and I don't know where that would be generating additional new revenues to justify the additional subvention. So walk me through that.
So the commercial tower would have increased the value of the property by having $1.2 million property tax increment.
Okay.
It would have had additional parking uses, so there would have been additional parking tax revenue. Okay. And there would have been business taxes generated by 1.2 million square feet of basically professional business uses in that tower. So that would have generated, I believe the number was, I don't have it in front of me. It was, I don't want to guess, but it was up to something like 30 or 40 additional $1 million based on having a $1.2 million square foot office tower.
Okay, yeah, because I couldn't see what that revenue estimate was in this report either. So
Yeah.
So there's at least that much more in business-related new revenues for the office tower.
Yeah.
And then whatever the increase in TOT is from those additional 239 rooms that had already been planned for at the time of the second amendment, or the first amendment to the subvention.
Yeah.
Right. So you get that extra TOT plus the new business taxes, and that's more than enough to cover, well, it would be more than double the amount of the subvention.
Absolutely.
So that's why it stays within policy.
Absolutely stays within policy. Even if they had not added the additional 240 or whatever rooms, it would still be within policy.
Okay.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, because they've added those rooms, this is a 25-year deal. These are all 25-year deals with an expectation that it would take about 25 years to meet the net present value that we assign. Because they've added those net those new rooms. We expect this to be paid within 9 years rather than 25. So this will be greatly accelerated on the revenue side.
Okay, so that covers the finance part of it, but why is it necessary to do an amendment to the subvention agreement if this was already anticipated in the previous amendment to the?
We wanted to make sure that this information was in front of you. It required a contract amendment. We just wanted to make sure that we had all the authorities in place to move forward with this amendment. In addition, the developer is seeking some property tax considerations. They've asked the county to reevaluate their property tax payments or charges, and that affects the guarantee payment that we have. The other thing that you may recall is that we required that they keep us whole on the existing revenues. So the property tax, the hotel tax, the parking tax that they were earning before the project was demolished, we actually required that they make a payment to us on an annual basis to keep us whole.
During the construction period?
During construction period. Okay. And so we just wanted for full disclosure and transparency to make sure that the council was aware of this and that you were able to act on this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman, for that institutional recollection.
Wasn't one of my favorite votes.
We've been joined by Senator Gil Cedillo. Are there any other questions on this? Then, members, if no objection, I'm going to recommend that we approve the CLA report on the Wilshire Grand Hotel matter. No objections? That will be the order. Thank you. All right. Item 3.
Item number 3 is a joint Economic and Workforce Development Department and Workforce Development Board and CAO reports relative to proposed sole source contract with the Los Angeles Community College District to provide training services.
Okay, and we are joined at the table by?
Good afternoon, Shafi Amir from the CAO's office. And we have, I believe, EWDD here.
Hello, I'm Gerardo Rubalcaba with the Economic and Workforce Development Department.
Good afternoon. Before you is a report from our office regarding the EWDD's request for authority to negotiate and execute a sole source contract with the Los Angeles Community College District. This would utilize $300,000 in federal workforce innovation and Opportunity Act funding for vocational training services in the field of high-demand industry sector types of jobs, and in this case specifically in the technology of unmanned aerial vehicle technology. This would be a contract term for services from January 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2017. It's part of the approved Workforce Development Board annual plan for the program year of 16-17. Actually, the funds are carrying over from the previous program year. It's a sole source contract. The justification that was provided by the department, EWDD, is that they did issue a request for information back in March of 2016, and they only had one response in the specific area of high technology types of industries and high demand sector industries. They were awarded that contract but still had unexpended funds, so they reached out to the LA Community College District for this type of training, and they're currently offering this training, or developing the curriculum for this training. So our office supports the granting EWDD this authority to enter into the contract, subject to the city attorney's review and approval of their contract and compliance with all city contracting requirements. We can take any questions if you have any.
Is there a particular college or group of colleges that are going to be eligible or going to be a part of this?
Yes.
Collaborative?
So we are going to pilot this project out of East Los Angeles College. However, because it is a new project that's being developed, the plan is to, well, two things. One, recruit from our 17 workforce centers throughout the city, so we will be recruiting citywide for this project. But once the project is developed, we are looking to implement it at other community colleges as well.
And this is for a year?
Yes. So the initial contract will be for 1 year, where we will provide training to 75 individuals. However, the community college will carry on the project beyond the life of this contract.
75?
Yes.
And these are recruits? Are there going to be folks who just sign up for this program, or in a particular class, or how do we?
Yes, so it's a short-term training program that consists of both approximately 100 hours of classroom training, as well as 100 hours of internships. We will be recruiting through the city 17 WorkSource centers. So these will be our job seekers that come into to the WorkSource centers looking for employment training.
Okay. Members, questions? Mitch?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. These internships, these trainings, this vocational training, is there, if there is a need for childcare, will that be provided for some of the participants?
Yes, because these will be WorkSource Center participants. Our WorkSource Centers do, through their regular contracts, have funding available for support services. So we do provide funding available. So if there is need for transportation or other types of support services that are required for the individuals who participate in the training programs, that will be made available.
Perfect. And then also, probably in keeping with this same practice at the WorkSource Centers, in terms of connecting applicants who have finished the internship with job opportunities. Can you describe that process?
Yes. So again, with our WorkSource Center, so this is a partnership between our WorkSource Center system and the community colleges. So all participants will be co-enrolled into both the community college and the WorkSource Center as part of our standard career services. In addition to providing some of the, any basic skills training that are required. Once an individual completes their training and are assisted in finding a job, we do provide follow-up services for 12 months. And that is one of the things that we are rated on, again, by our federal performance measures.
And you might have already answered this, so forgive me, or it might even be in the report, but about how many internships will be available?
Our expectation is that all 75 participants will go through an internship.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Pleased to see that this project is in conjunction with the Tesla Foundation. I think we have a representative from Tesla here with us. Why don't we invite Tesla up to the table to share any information on the level of your involvement.
Good afternoon, council members. Thank you very much for inviting me. We have a very strong...
Can you identify yourself, please?
I apologize. My name is Keith Kaplan, and I am the CEO of the Tesla Foundation. We are a private, nonprofit, science and technology think tank specifically focused on job creation and workforce development in the transition from basically our IT age into our autonomous age, all things autonomous. So our ability to partner with these wonderful the city and the wonderful workforce development and the community college district is giving us an opportunity with our deep connections in the aerospace and technology community to partner with them to offer these internships. And specifically, the gentleman that was talking about construction being one of the few jobs that was left because there isn't manufacturing. Fortunately, this is the largest aerospace manufacturing center in the entire world. And we are seeing a resurgence in aerospace, and we're seeing a resurgence in space. And it is our mission through our think tank for job creation and workforce development that the Los Angeles area stays in the forefront of that technology boom by creating CTE level jobs, high school graduate level jobs, training, so that they can be the machinists or the operators for industry, including our entertainment industry, to operate cameras or different devices for data collection. So we see this as a wonderful partnership.
As a part of the training, are we offering employment to these individuals, or they just sort of go through the training and then we sort of push them out and for another group?
Of course, we would hope that the participants of the internships would hire these people, because we are going to spend a lot of time training them, and that cost, the whole goal of this with the WIB is to help with the cost of doing that. And I think, Dr. Cheeto, you have a comment about that as well.
If I may, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Cheeto Kahayan, I'm representing Marvin Martinez, the president of East LA College. We're very excited about this project because as an institution of higher education, we get to be aligned with some emerging trends when it comes down to good paying jobs and careers. We are in partnership with a broad array of employers that have committed their interest in allowing the internship phase to participate through their door, so to speak. So when the students do complete the hours of training through the short-term workshops, we're very comforted that they're going to be following through and sequentially participate in some active ground-level activities. So we're very excited to learn from this project, and thank you to the City of Los Angeles for hopefully supporting us when it comes down to developing this as a higher education course.
This is an interesting collaborative. We know how important the community colleges are as a network, and certainly here in our area, but LA Trade Tech has been a real exciting partner, and East LA also has been a very aggressive. And it's so this is an exciting project, and it's good to know that there are a number of employers involved. Tesla is certainly taking the lead, but these are not all going to go to Tesla. They're going to be going industry-wide, presumably, right? Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Any other questions? Oh.
Outstanding program. This is exactly the things that, the kind of thing that we should be doing more of to prepare people for the economy of the 21st century and make people employable in these advancing industries. So terrific kudos to everyone. The one question I had is, since we're making this effort to provide opportunity to Los Angeles residents, are all of the employers that are listed here as participants Los Angeles-based or Southern California-based employers? So we're not going to be training and then exporting our newly trained people to companies in Nevada or the East Coast or something like that, are we?
Not at all. And as most of you know, there is a strategic plan that's been put in place by the county, along with a lot of council input, the city council from LA, to make sure that the Southern California, the county, and the Southern California region has high-tech, biotech, and information and media production and manufacturing as part of our economic base. So we're committed to the technology footprint that advanced manufacturing is making a movie. Advanced manufacturing is making software. And aerorobotics is the iPhone moment for robots. And our region invented most of the robots that are in space right now. So actually in this county, in this city. So we want to make sure that that type of manufacturing and that type of IP creation stays here in LA.
A lot of great manufacturing facilities in North Hollywood and areas around it that were just ready to take that task on. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, members, any other questions, comments? Okay, then we're going to approve the CAO report with LACCD and Tesla and other associated partners. Let the training begin.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Councilmember.
Any other business before us this time?
No, sir.
That's it.
That being the case, this meeting is adjourned.